vigilance, like always being on the watch as though preparing for something. Like they're always looking at the back of their mind, like they're always looking at at their back. Like let's say I'm playing with my daughter, and then I'm touching, and then she's like, she's shook. She's like, mommy, why did you, like, like, that's not how it's supposed, because I mean, this is my mom, she's touching me, she's embracing me, and all of a sudden she doesn't like the embraces, she doesn't want to be touched because she has already been touched wrongly. And then the avoidance of touch, shrinking away from physical contact, and also the ones that I've learned also is like signs of like the like poor hygiene. Like if your child has always been clean, she has always liked to put her things in order, and all of a sudden when you walk into her room, it's a mess. It's a literal mess. And these are the tiny things we don't look at. We just say, oh, it's a phase. She's going through a phase. She's going through something, or he or she's going through something.
You're touching some points there. Yeah, it's really true. It's really true.
Yeah.
I remember as a child, I used to have in my underwear all the time, and I'll hide my underwear. I'll not wash it and stuff. You just want to make it unpleasant for the predator not to come and touch you or something, Don't come here, Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, those are things that especially when we parents, we know our children. We gave birth to them. They came from we know them very well. And there's that thing of the poor hygiene appearance. They're dirty. They're having severe. They don't want to shower. This is a child you've known that she likes to shower. She likes the water. She likes to explore new soaps and likes to smell fresh. And then all of a sudden they don't want that. You have to literally drag them to their bathroom. That should tell you something is not right. Even malnourishment, even hunger, consistently appearing hungry or stealing, even hoarding food. It might look like it's a face, but there's something, because she hasn't been. These are sudden things that are happening to our children, and we don't even know about. Lack of supervision, being left alone, or in dangerous situation. For example, I'm taking her to a supermarket. Okay, rather we are going to a supermarket, and she always wants to go with me to the supermarket. She wants to explore the market, and then she's like, "Mommy, I'll just stay in the car. I will wait for you, and then you'll come back." That is not okay. Why? They want to be in an enclosed place, like in a dark place. They want to be alone. They don't want to be in a place where there are a lot of people. She will feel like she's going to be grabbed and taken somewhere and be violated. Right. So those are the things for me. I feel like it's really good. And then untreated medical issues, like maybe they might have issues. This is mostly for the older kids, because younger kids, when they feel funny, they will tell their parents. So for the older kids, maybe something is bothering. Maybe they have a headache, or that is continuous, or maybe they have a stomachache, but they don't want to tell mommy, I'm not feeling well. Mommy, I don't want to see a doctor. Like, that is a problem, because if the way you've raised this child, anytime he or she has a headache, they will literally come to mommy, I think I'm having a headache. Mommy, I'm having a flu. Mommy, this and this is happening in my body. And then it gets to a point they don't tell you, I'm not feeling like this, I'm not doing this way, something is wrong, because they're afraid to be checked. They don't want to be touched by the doctor. They don't want to be questioned, because they feel if they get questioned, they don't want to lie, or they don't want to say someone has done this to me. So they refuse to do that. They refuse to be medically treated. So for me, especially, and even for the science, let me bring my last opinion, like, especially when it comes to the emotional abuse, like, they delay development, like they lag. If your child used to be very, very, very high sensitive in school, like they're bright in school, then they start degrading in school. The extremes in behavior, like they are being overly infertile, like they are just like they are not their self. Even the teacher notices. And even the worst part, especially, I know it's mostly from both genders, male and female, but I'm speaking from the female side because I'm raising a daughter. When it comes to such things, there's something called the low self-esteem. This is a child you have groomed, you have grown, you are beautiful, you are lovely, you, whatever thing you put on, it's not going to set you apart. But then it gets to a point when she's putting, let's say I'm buying her a nice dress. Mommy, I don't want that dress, it doesn't make me feel beautiful. Mommy, I don't want that trouser, it doesn't make me feel beautiful. Mommy, I don't like that swimsuit, it doesn't make me. The moment our kids start low self-esteeming themselves, all of a sudden from nowhere, that is a sign of someone abused them. They abuse them physically, verbally, and they're like, there's nothing, you are not beautiful, you're ugly. That is where you start looking. That is where you see something is not right.
Wow, that's some great valid points there. Parents, be aware of these, take some notes, okay? Maybe you did not realize these things before, but you are hearing some of these signs, please. And some things we're just trying to bring awareness, okay? So you can look for these signs and you know how to help your child, please. And now, that's the last question. How to help a child. Now an abuse have taken place. You as a parent, what do? Do you just go to your shelter, you be depressed, and you just blame yourself for the abuse? What do you do? Now your child comes to you and said, Mommy, this has taken place. What do you can do as a parent? What would you say?
Sorry again, please. I think the network had.
Your child, as abuse has taken place, right? And the child comes and makes you aware, talks to you, Mom, this and this is happening. So what do you do in a situation like that? Do you be depressed, blaming yourself? Oh, how did this happen inside my house? Court, family shame, a lot of things. How to help a child and how to go through this, because it's not easy thing. I remember when this happened to my cousin. She was the talk of the town. The whole town was against the mom. They wanted the mom to leave the boyfriend. Even when I was abused, I did not know because I was too young, but I grew up hearing conversations and having dreams of abuse. And I had conversation of my dad talking with my stepmom about the abuse, and even when my cousin that was used to do those things to me, he was arrested because he touched a boy, and the boy unfortunately wasn't alive, and he went to jail. So the whole town, the conversation, it was in our family, all eyes was in our family. But now, what to do in those situation? Your child came and talked to you. What do you do? Because people are going to talk. So what do you do?
Okay, first of all, when it comes, and I want to echo you, not really echoing, but the fact that you just say people are going to talk, that is their problem when it comes to that, because this is your child this is your child, yeah? This is your child that has gone through this. So even when it comes to people are going to people will always talk, and that's okay, because there's some things you can't control. And that is where we also have God. You just pray about it, and even if they're going to talk, that's fine. So anyway, for me, first of all, first things first, which is very important for me. First of all, for me, I feel first of all is to report the abuse. Is to really just, you report it immediately. Just the first thing start by reporting. You also create a space where the child is going to go to the hospital and going to be checked to see if there's anything that has been caught or anything. Those are the first healthy things to first make sure the child is okay. And then for me, the second thing is to just sit down and listen to the child. As much as I know this, and this is the part where parents overlook.
Yes.
When it comes to this part, me as a parent, so let me punguza volume. Me as a parent, I don't want to hear the repeat of what she has to say the whole thing from A to Z. It is not a good thing to hear as a parent, because you'll break down. I don't want to hear this because it's breaking my heart. But at the end of the day, that is how healing starts from me as a parent to hear. For both me and my child, it's for me and my child to hear, as much as it's unpleasing to hear, but that is where the healing starts from. So you listen to just that. You let them speak at their own pace. We don't, not pressuring, just talk quickly so that we get through this. No, Even if
No.
it's going to take a day or maybe like a part of the morning of the abuse or like during the afternoon or the evening, let us just hear. Even if it's going to take a week, listen to those things that this child is telling you. This is what happened. Even if let's say, do you want to stop? Yes, mommy, I want to stop. Then we will continue tomorrow. Like we are giving, they say what that is doing. We don't know, we might not know, but we're also creating healing slowly by slowly for the child. So just listen to their own pace, and then when it comes to the end of it, like reassure them that you like for me, I will assure my child, like, I believe in you, um like you believe in them, you emphasize, and they like that the abuse is not their fault. Like, there's this, especially in Africa. I don't know if it's if it's outside Africa, especially in Africa, when a lady is, that word, it's almost like the blame is usually put on her. What did you wear? What were you
Yeah.
wearing? Like you are attracting you're putting yourself in that kind of danger. And that is very wrong to say. Like, we are free to dress how we are free. My dressing does not determine how you look at me. It is your mind that is dirty. It is your mind that has a motive to do evil. So it is not my fault. So, like, especially for now, again, but I'm raising a child, what you put on, as much as I'm also teaching her on how to dress and modestly, but it does not give the predator a room for them to think it's okay for them to do that because of the site. Because I mean, for those who are doing that thing to small babies, what did those small babies
That's
put on?
sickness. That's
It's
sickness.
sickening, yeah. So another thing is, like, to provide a safe environment, like create a stable, predictable, and safe atmosphere to help them recover from trauma. And by creating a safe space, like creating a safe environment, like you always look, like I said again, and I keep repeating, being intentional. And this is something we don't really, being intentional. Like, you want to be like most people in your platform, I'm looking for an intentional man, I'm looking for an intentional woman. This is where an intentional parent comes in. This is where an intentional parent comes in. Like, when they're saying, like, when I'm talking about when creating like a safe environment, I'm talking of, like, anytime she feels she needs to talk, even it's 2 a.m., she's sleeping and she's having nightmares, she's welcomed to come into my bedroom and tell me, Mommy, I cannot sleep. Why are you not sleeping? I will wake up and we'll sit down. What is happening? Like, that is how you're creating a safe space for her. Because if she comes to me and she's like, Mommy, I can't sleep and I'm very sleepy, and then I shut her away, you have cut any room for any healing for that child. He or she will be like, I cannot go talk to Mommy, I cannot go to, because they feel like I'm going to disturb them. So
Yes.
you've already closed the door. You've already closed the door for them to even come to you for anything. So it's good to create that space, and for atmosphere, like, even when she's going, of course, even after the abuse, like, she's not going to be in the house for forever. Like, you create spaces for her to go. Like, even you make sure these spaces, are they safe? Are they safe for her? Are they triggering? Are they triggering anything that she has gone through? Like, you have to be there to make sure this space is not triggering for her. In case anything happens, it's not going to trigger, because she's on her healing journey. And another thing I feel, for me, again, as I say, to help build self-esteem, because she has already put in a place where the esteem is at lowest of the lowest of the lowest. So for me, I feel like to help build self-esteem, like to encourage her through positive reinforcement and help them feel valued and safe. And by that is, like, when she wakes up in the morning and maybe she wants to put on a dress, because most of the abuse victims, you can see, they don't like showing skin, they don't like showing anything, they like to be in hoodies, they like to be like they're covering every part of their bodies, only their faces. So the only thing you can do is to like reassure them, like, you're like, I want you to feel safe. Whatever you put on, there's nothing wrong with you. There's no fault with what you put on. Be bold. Put your head up high. If you want to put that nice colored dress, put it on. Go out. Go with your friends. And especially when it comes to this friend, let me also point this. When it comes to also friends that she's hanging out with, especially after the abuse. It's very important to know the kind of people she's hanging out with, because you never know what these friends, like maybe they can be in a setting and then they're asking her questions. So what happened? How did you feel? How did it happen? That is not okay. You need to make sure the friends that she's having around are there to put positivity, are there to put encouragement, are there to cushion her as friends, and they're not going to talk about their abuse because she's already healing in the process. Yeah. And then there's also the like model healthy behaviors, like just showing them appropriate ways to manage emotions. And this is the part where we also fail as parents. Like when it comes to resolving conflicts will always be there, even between the child and their parents. Like there can be conflict. There's something she's done and I'm not okay with it, and maybe I'm raising my voice. Do you know, by raising my voice, I'm already putting her back. I'm already pulling her 3 steps behind of what had happened to her. So as much as parents, as much as we feel sometimes we come short of our flaws and everything, we're all humans together. But when it comes to our kids who have gone through that, it's just good to calm ourselves down and pray to God about it. And when you're able to address an issue that she or he has done that is wrong, there's a way we can approach it, not by shouting and yelling and putting a blame, and then it will all go back to the first scratch. Like, so it was okay for what happened to me because mommy is also shouting at me. So it's also good to approach situations, especially these are very vulnerable situations. So we need to really look at it and like find a way to resolve without shouting and yelling and putting them into situations where they're going to feel like, so mommy is shouting, so dad is shouting, so I'm not worthy, And also I think one of the things that I feel like it's also very important that we overlook as parents is to encourage healthy outlets. Like we support the involvement in activities and like sports, arts, like things that they used to love that they no longer do. Let's say my daughter loves to paint, she loves to draw, she loves to color. And I feel like at some point we need to bring our kids to the things that they used to love, to come back to the normal routine that they used to, the things that they used to enjoy that this person took away from them. They feel like coloring is no longer like it's nothing to them, and probably this is a talent that they can grow and make something out of it. So it's just good to bring them slowly, not all of it at the same time, just once, like, hey, sweetie, I saw a flower in a drawing. I feel like you can use a color and just, even if it's to color one petal, that's okay. Even if it's to draw one line, that's okay. You're bringing her to what she really used to enjoy, and I think that is very, very important. I think the last thing for me is like to use community resources, like like family support, like services. Now these are things like community can do, family support services, like centers, protective foster care programs, all these things, to put them together. And then, because you cannot put your child into your home forever, like she has to be out there, and we need to put those steps. And then we have to really investigate these places we are taking them, a very safe environment for her to go, for him or her to go and explore and feel like, okay, mommy, now I feel I'm okay, I feel like I'm ready to go out there. And there also, one thing I also learned, like therapy, as much as we want our kids to exploit, we want them to heal through therapy. For me, I feel it is not okay to force them to go to therapy. It has to come from them. Because if we force them to go there, they will just go because mommy wants me to, daddy wants me to. And when they're in that setting, in that therapy session, these therapists will just ask questions, but this young person will just answer, but they will not open. They will not open up. There's a difference. Like, I can ask a question, we'll say yes or no. But when I feel I'm ready to be in therapy, I will not need to do the yes or no. I will start opening up. I will say, okay, this and this and this. I feel like therapy it's good. It's very good, and it's very good for the growth and for healing. But it's also okay for the child, to allow the child to say, okay, I am now ready. Yeah.
Wow, there's some great valid points there. Wow, thank you so much. So yes, parents, I hope you took some, some notes on here. You learned something. Okay. There's certain things that sometimes we just ignored some signs, but I'm sure she touched on a lot of points. The woman of God touched in a lot of points that are very valid to bring awareness to parents. Okay, signs to look for. Okay, of the abuse. Let's talk with our children, and let's not just talk. Let's listen more. As I said in the afternoon, let's have the habit of listen to our children. Allow our children to speak. Children, they can speak in different ways. You can even take a piece of paper and you can tell them, can you just paint an ideal family? What does it look like, ideal family? A school, there is a nice, a good environment. How does it look like? A church, a beautiful church. Can you just draw maybe outside the world and something, and allow the child to express through drawing? Listen to them is very important. Parents, sometimes we go approach our children. Has someone been touching? Someone been doing something to you? These children, they know, they sometimes there's this fear that the abuser can put on them, and they just they feel like they go in a shell and they don't want to speak. So make a safe place, a place that child feel